Today, we are talking about 5 inexpensive tools that will help you catch grow problems before they become disasters. And most of these are under $100. Some of these are under $10. And man, the first one is something no grower should be without. Come on, Hasi, let's get into it. But before we do, this video is brought to you by Real Growers Recharge, something that no grower should be without. If you are dumping nutrients onto your plant and they are still struggling, you got to check out Recharge, because microbes unlock those nutrients and they feed the plant directly. And the results are obvious. You get stronger, healthier plants. Don't take my word for it. Go on over to realgrowers.com. Use coupon code SCOTTY420 for 20% off your first order. Now let's do it, Hasi.
Okay, besides Recharge,
Yeah.
what are the 5 inexpensive things that I should have in my grow?
Deal. And you know what? I'm going to call them under $100. Some of these aren't completely inexpensive, but they sure are a good value. And it's something before you buy something else fancy. And yeah, these are key.
You promised the one thing right off the bat, the thing that every grower should have. What do you got for us, Scott?
Okay, this might surprise you, but it's a PPFD meter. It's a light meter. And the idea behind this is light is the energy. You can give it anything you want. You give it all the nutrients you want. You can give it all that perfect environment. But it doesn't if it doesn't have enough light, then that energy is just not there and the plant's not going to grow. And it's just really difficult, or it's really impossible, I will say, to judge how much light is hitting the canopy and different levels of the canopy also. It's hard to do that without a meter. So that's where the meter comes in. These are, I think, between $60 and $80 on Amazon in the U.S. anyhow. And it is pretty simple. There's a power button. Thank you for making this one easy. And it just gives you a reading. Gives you a reading, I think, probably up to 2,000. Actually, it's over 2,000 because I have hit over 2,000. And it's very simple. You just take it like that. You raise it, you lower it, and you just see how much light you're getting at your canopy. And if you're using the LED lights, usually they'll stay the same height over canopy, and you'll just dial them up or dial them down according to what PPFD. And we talk about it, right? When you go from veg to flower, you're lowering the amount of daylight or the amount of light hours by 8 hours. You've got to crank that light up. And one of the things that I got in trouble for being wrong about was telling people to just crank the light up and burning their plants. You have to slowly crank it up. So you go in there every couple of days and you take your PPFD meter and you go, all right, I'm going to go an extra 100. You know, you go 100 PPFD every couple of days or whatever, but without it, you're just guessing. This is a nice guy, Kenny, just set up his grow, and I said, if you want me to take care of your grow, you want me to help you out, you need the tool. You need to have one of these. And I just went over, first time I went over there, I used it. And by the way, you don't just want to start, taking this and going all over the place with it. This is what your plant is going to see, or the energy your plant is going to get. So I'll take it and put it at the top of the canopy. I'll go put it at the side. I'll put it between 2 lights on the corner, and you'll be really surprised what a difference it makes.
But you want to be measuring at the canopy level.
Yes. And by the way, this is a big reason when you get one of these, you'll start flattening out your canopy, because you'll go like that and you'll be like, that's 2,200 PPFD right there. And then you're going to be like, that's 1,300 or that's 900 because it's getting shaded. So yeah, all of a sudden you really start doing canopy management.
Okay, what's the next must-have affordable piece of equipment?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're talking about canopy management, right? If we're going to have all that light energy and we're managing that, what do we need? We need to manage the environment, right? And so that means I got to understand what my temperature and humidity is, and that's where I use these things. These are GoV sensors. They're on Amazon for maybe $50 for, I think, a 3-pack. It might even be less. I have the 6-pack. It was, I think, $99 for them. They're these little sensors, and you just hang them. And so that's why I got a 6-pack, like I said, for $100. And I hang these all over my grow. I've got 3 in flower. I've got 3 in veg. And then it has an app that I can look at any time. And it shows me, temperature, humidity, and VPD for each sensor. So I can just go, it's got a widget on my phone. I can just take a look right at it. So I'll always know what my VPD is. And I know what it is in a bunch of different places. It can be the difference in veg and my bloom room. It's like 3 degrees. So I don't want to start calculating VPD when the humidity goes up or down. Nice guy Kenny's room, the plants just exploded. Go over to Real Grow Lab and check that out. But the plants just exploded. All of a sudden, his humidity is crazy. It's at 80%. So it's nice to be able to take a look and see it and then go on over and make some adjustments. All right, come on. The next one, you're going to notice a trend here is it's all about getting the facts. All right, sensors and meters, but getting quantitative information that we can make adjustments because of. And this is probably the most expensive one. These are about $100. This is Blue Lab Truncheon is what it's called. This is the easiest ppm meter, or the way to measure how much fertilizer is in your water. They have all different types. This one needs, I don't even think it has a way to calibrate it. It's cool, man. It just, thing just works. I used to use these other little pens, but I like these for $100. It's called the Truncheon by Blue Lab. And the idea is you got to measure how much fertilizer. We're going to say, and honestly, even if you're using grow dots, okay, even no matter what fertilizer you're using, you pour it in. That media is like kind of a filter almost, where some water is going to come out the bottom, but it's going to hold a lot of that nutrient. So periodically, you're going to have to take just plain water. That's why I flush my plants once a week, or I put recharge in there once a week. You are going to have to periodically flush these plants to get some of that built up salt out. And when you do, you're going to want to know, I guess, how bad it got or where you're at. Basically, you want to check out how much parts per million is the intake water. So maybe I'm dealing with 60 or 100. I have like 35 parts per million. It doesn't even register on this thing.
Or like if you have hard water, it's going to have higher parts per million.
Yep. And you want to know that, by the way, before you put it in there. We want to know what you're starting with. But just say you're starting with this clean Colorado water. I know it's 35 parts per million. I'll water the heck out of it, and then I'll wait and see what comes out the bottom, out the drain holes for the grow buckets and for the real buckets. I just tilt them a little bit, and it'll start dripping out. And I'll wait till I get, what do you need? Maybe an ounce, just enough to stick the pen in. And you can see, I had it one time as to where I like to do experiments. I put 2.5 times as many grow dots in there, and then I wanted to see what was going on with the soil. I watered the heck out of it. I got a little bit of runoff, and I tested it, and this goes off the scale at 2,000.
Oh, no.
It just started beeping off the scale. Guess what? I knew I screwed up, right? That's what it's about. It's about getting this data. Hey, I've had water in Central Florida before that's well water that came out over 600 parts per million. That's 600 of calcium and probably some sodium in there that was, taking the place of my fertilizer. So knowing that to start with, we ended up getting a reverse osmosis system there. But no, I would have never known it if it wasn't for one of these things.
All right, and the next one is kind of like a pairing for this. It works in tandem with it.
Anytime you learn how to grow, or back in the day when we would learn how to grow, the two instruments you had to have, or the two things you needed to know, was your parts per million, so how much fertilizer's in there, and then your pH, which determines how that fertilizer acts. Does it act like rust and get bound up as a solid, iron, or does it become a plant available iron? So stuff like that. pH is important. You'll hear that's another thing. I get in trouble for oversimplifying. If you're using microbes and you have a really active rhizosphere, they can, to an extent, adjust the pH right where that transaction happens, where the root and the soil are meeting. But I simplify it or oversimplify it too much. You do need to know what your pH is. If you have, and by the way, pH and too much fertilizer are closely related. pH, the potential of hydrogen. If you put a ton of nitrogen fertilizer, that's got a bunch of hydrogen ions in it. So you need to know what's going on. So as soon as, not even when your plants look lousy, that once a week when you're top watering them, getting a little bit of leaching out of them, check your pH. And This is the least sophisticated way to check your pH. This is a $10 General Hydroponics pH test drops. It's anybody's ever maintained a pool, they have to check pH in the swimming pool. The idea is you can do this with a couple droplets of water, but you literally just have to get a couple droplets out of the bottom. If you're, testing the runoff, it's really easy. And then you just put a couple drops of the pH, it's like a liquid or whatever, but it'll show you. It'll make a basic color. If it's bright red, that means you're acid. If it's blue, it's, very alkaline. But you check it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to be somewhere in the green. And for $10, it's nice to know. You want to have the facts.
And why do I need to be somewhere in the green?
Because that's where plants absorb the nutrients. I like to use iron because everybody knows what rust is. But at a certain pH, iron bonds to oxygen, becomes iron oxide, which is rust.
And then the plants can't take it up anymore.
Absolutely not. Correct, man. And then at a pH range, the right range of pH, that iron becomes plant available and is able to be uptaken into the plant. So pH definitely matters. And I used to have my friend that would yell at me and say, get the facts. We get the facts, man. All right.
Okay, and this last one kind of sits out. It's an oddball. It's not a meter. It's not measuring anything like the rest of them.
No, but it is a great tool to have. If I'm recommending something, and here we go. It's my trusty ozone generator. This is a Jobnia. This is a Jobnia brand. Amazon, maybe $60. One of the cool things about this is it does liquids too. So I can take this, I put it in a gallon milk jug, and it will ozonate the water. And what it does is it just powers it. Oxygen is O2 normally, or O2 is stable. It all uses some kind of weird light bulb and some kind of weird wavelength to bond a third oxygen. So it's an oxidizer. So you put it on stuff and it ends up almost just like hydrogen peroxide.
Like bleach.
Yeah, but this is just water. Bleach is going to eventually become water. This is just water. So you can take it and spray your tools with it. What I really like to do is I don't really use the liquid much, but I will use the fan, the air. And if I'm switching my room over, or I just harvested, or I'm looking at some of these grow tents, before I would go in any of these grow tents, I would put the ozone generator in there. You put it in for an hour. Ozone is destructive to your lungs and to humans and pets and everything. So don't be in the room when you do it. It will make this weird smell too. It makes this strange smell. If you smell it too much, it'll destroy your olfactory senses. So it'll mess. Anyway, ozone comes with some perils. You need to know how to use it, but it's not hard. Don't breathe it, all right?
So this isn't something that you have going while you're growing.
No.
It's in between grows?
Yeah, this is down close to that UVC range when we talk about it. Ozone is really similar to that. And like a UVC causes damage to DNA, right? That's why you don't want to be in a room with UVC. Well, it's the same with ozone. But what do we want? We want to kill spores, right? Those powdery mildew spores. And if you look up there at that air conditioner, I guarantee you there's a couple things growing there. If I turn this ozone generator on, seal the room or seal up my tent, let it run for 45 minutes and just let it sit for the afternoon. You come back, you have really sterilized that. So for under $100, these things are cool. Hey, but those are just my 5 tools that I would say are absolutely essential to getting your grow. But did I miss something? I'm sure I must have, because I already want to do another video. Come on, let me know in the comments. And if you dug this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video with another grower you know, and check out the next video YouTube's recommending. We think you'll dig them.